Join me as I dive deep into the surprising dark pagan secrets behind Easter that most people don't know about. Easter, a holiday synonymous with Christianity, eggs, and of course, the Easter Bunny. But what if I told you that there's more to this holiday than meets the eye? That beneath the surface lies a complex web of pagan influences and dark secrets that have been hiding in plain sight. When we think of Easter, we often associate it with Christianity, and rightfully so. The holiday, after all, is built around the celebration of Jesus Christ's resurrection. But what about the other elements that make up this festive occasion? The Easter Bunny, the eggs, the lilies. Where did they come from? Many of us assume they're just innocent symbols of springtime and new life. But what if they're actually rooted in a much darker history? One of the biggest misconceptions about Easter is that it's a purely Christian holiday. But the truth is, Easter has its roots in pre-Christian, pagan cultures. The early Christian church, in its quest to spread Christianity, often incorporated existing pagan traditions into their own celebrations. It was a clever way to win over converts. But it also meant that many of these old customs persisted, often taking on new meanings in the process. As we explore the history of Easter, we'll find that many of its symbols and traditions have eerie connections to ancient deities and fertility rituals. The Easter Bunny, for example, has its roots in the goddess of spring, Eostre. In ancient Germanic cultures, Eostre was celebrated during the spring equinox, and her symbol, the rabbit, represented fertility and rebirth. And those eggs we dye and decorate, they were once a symbol of fertility and new life in ancient cultures, often associated with the goddess Eostre as well. In many ancient cultures, the spring equinox was a time to celebrate the return of the sun and the fertility of the land. It was a time of rebirth, and many of the symbols we associate with Easter today, like the rabbit and the eggs, were originally meant to represent this cycle of life and death. The lilies, often decoratively used in Easter arrangements, were once a symbol of purity and innocence in ancient Greek culture. One of the most shocking connections between Easter and pagan practices is the idea of the dying god. In many ancient cultures, the god of the harvest or agriculture would be symbolically killed and reborn during the spring equinox. Sound familiar? This mythological cycle of death and rebirth is eerily similar to the story of Jesus Christ's crucifixion and resurrection. It's hard not to wonder if the early Christian church borrowed from these existing mythologies when creating their own narrative. The connections between Easter and pagan practices are undeniable, and yet these elements have persisted in modern celebrations. We decorate eggs, a symbol of fertility, and indulge in chocolate bunnies, a nod to the goddess Eostre. We celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which is Passover, Pascha in the Greek, but also the return of the sun and the fertility of the land. It's a complex blend of traditions, one that's both fascinating and unsettlingly sad. In conclusion, let's follow God's laws by celebrating Passover. Why? Because Easter is more than just a Christian holiday. It's a complex tapestry of pagan influences, ancient deities, and fertility rituals. As we celebrate this holiday, let's not forget the dark secrets that lie beneath its surface. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you found surprising about Easter's origins in the comments below. If you're interested in exploring more holiday histories, be sure to check out my other video on the dark side of Christmas.